Hello, my name is Kathy, and today I'll be continuing the talk on the release stream. But before I do this, I wanted to let you know that because I have a great many videos now on many different topics, that I've decided to make several different video playlists so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Today, we will talk about another specific release stream theme and how to analyze them for yourself. Today, let's look at another two common release streams, the one where you're trying to use a phone that doesn't work and time warps. In this release stream of using a phone that doesn't work, you find yourself trying to get through to your girlfriend or boyfriend, or worse yet, your car is broken down and you have to call for help, or someone is about to attack you and you have to call for help. You manage to get to the telephone, and at worst, it won't work. Either the telephone malfunctions, or you don't have the right change to put into it, or you are dialing the emergency 911 number, and the operator is totally uncooperative. You wake up frustrated and sometimes frightened by this dream. Most therapists tend to agree that in general, dreams of a phone that won't work often suggest a failure in communication. If the dreamer is trying to ask for help, then it makes sense to ask if the dreamer is in a difficult physical, financial, or emotional situation and is unable to communicate their need for help, either to the people they are immediately involved with or to professionals. If the dreamer is unable to get through to a loved one on the phone in the dream, then one looks to see if there is trouble in communication between the dreamer and that particular person, or the person represented by the dream character. If the dreamer doesn't have the proper change to make the connection, this could also suggest that the dreamer is unprepared or does not have the resources or perhaps the communication skills necessary to be in emotional connection with the person they are trying to reach. If the dreamer is able to contact people who would normally be able to help them, say workers at the 911 number, but these workers are uncooperative and frustrating his needs, then they need to ask themselves if these are the wrong people in their lives to help them out of a particular situation. In our first example of the release stream of trying to use a phone that doesn't work, we have a man that dreamt that he was telephoning his girlfriend, but there is no answer. He wakes up frustrated and worries that maybe his dream means that she's seeing somebody else. When analyzing this dream, the man asked himself what it means when you telephone someone and there's no answer. His answer was that it could mean the phone is out of order, or that it could also mean that the person isn't home. And he also said that the person could be doing anything really. When he questioned himself further about the dream, he asked himself if he was worried that his girlfriend was out with another man. He thought about this and realized that this was what he worried about when he woke up. In the dream, he is just frustrated that she is not there. Next, he asked himself if there was any way in the last month that his girlfriend had not been there for him. He then realized that this was true. He explained that his girlfriend's mother had died a short time ago, and that his girlfriend has been very busy with that and very busy with her work on top of that, and so has had very little time for him as of late, and he felt that she had not been there for him. After analyzing his dream, he realized that it was time for him to stop worrying about himself and his needs and stop assuming the worst. He further came to the understanding that it was time for him to help her deal with her mom's death. He then said he felt that he had been pretty selfish when all was said and done. In our next example of the release dream of trying to use a phone that doesn't work, we have a woman that dreamt her car had broken down on a country road. In her dream, she walked to a telephone feeling a little anxious and dialed 911. But the information service 411 answered. So she tried again and again and again and again. No matter what she did, information answered every time. She woke up from this dream feeling frustrated and anxious. When this dream was analyzed, the woman asked herself, why do humans call 911? She said that a person calls them for emergency help when you are in dire straits. She went on to explain that in a dream she was in some danger out on this deserted country road by herself. Then she asked herself, what is 411? And she said that it was the information service. She went on to explain that while those people can put you in touch with other numbers, they don't actually do the helping. Instead, they are a referral service. Next, the woman asked herself if there was anything in her life where she felt anxious or stranded, and where she thought that she had been calling for help, but in actual fact called 411, a referral service and information service. She said that this could be a description of her marriage counselor. She said that she needed from her marriage in order to get herself out of it. But she found that in her waking life, that she had been working in therapy more of an information gathering way. She realized that in her waking life, that she had not been taking her marriage counseling seriously. What she had actually been doing was acting too intellectual and gathering information at these sessions, rather than taking action. It came as a shock to her to realize that this was what she had been doing. To help you analyze your dreams of trying to use a phone that doesn't work, ask yourself the following questions. Describe the situation in your dream. Does the phone malfunction? Do you have the right change or credit card? Are you unable to get through to somebody? Is the battery dead on your cell phone? Can you describe the person or organization you are trying to get through to? Does this person or organization remind you of anyone in your life, or is it an actual picture of the person you need to communicate with? How so? Elaborate on the connection if you see one. Why do you want to get through to this person or group? What are the obstacles? Does this obstacle, which you describe as what you've just described, remind you of anything in your life? Does this dream describe any difficulty you are having in waking life communicating with a particular person or asking for help in a particular situation? How so? If you don't have the right change to make the call or the battery is dead, does this remind you of any way in which you are ill-equipped to make effective communication with the person or persons in question? Time warps. In our next release dream theme, we have the dreams where we find ourselves trapped in some situation from the past. This dream demonstrates how aware our spirit minds are of the life charts that we wrote on the other side before we incarnated in this life. It's very common that people feel an occasional subconscious fear that we're not keeping pace with our plans that we made in this lifetime and not accomplishing everything we set out to do. These types of issues very commonly release themselves in these types of dreams of being lost, stranded, and inadequate, in a familiar setting in which we feel impotent and inappropriate. And they tend to be most frequent at times when we are questioning the life choices we have made, times when even some level of success leaves us asking the age-old question, is that all there is? In our first example of a time warp release dream, we have a man that has been having a recurring dream in which he finds himself having to return to high school. In his waking life, the man is 42, and he says he's been having this same recurring dream for the past 15 years. In the dream, he is already late and unable to obtain transportation, so he begins walking. In the dream, the further he progresses, the more difficult it becomes to walk. All of his joints become unbendable and his muscles contract in pain, and finally, he is reduced to a shuffle. Eventually, he gives up altogether and stops. In similar dreams, he said that he often ends up in an office where he is shown to a desk and told to get to work, but he has no idea what to do. In our next example of a time warp release dream, we have a man that has been having the same dream for many years. In the dream, he is the same age as he currently is in his waking life, but he's back in middle school. He realizes that he should actually be in high school, but he had to go back because he failed to take one class. In our next example of a time warp release dream, we have a woman that keeps having a recurring dream that she's still in high school. In her waking life, she is in fact 29 years of age, and she is still this age in her dream. Suddenly, she realizes her age, and she becomes frustrated that she's still there. In the dream, she sees that all of the people that she went to school with are there as well, and she is happy to see them, but they are all still 18, while she is almost 30. This type of a release dream tends itself very well to reprogramming, with the revised ending of a sudden happy announcement to everyone in the dream to the effect of, "Hey, I just remembered, I don't belong here." And then the person makes a confident exit in bright, warm sunshine. But even more than this, they are very valuable wake-up calls. They are a reminder to take stock of where we are versus where we know we have the potential to be, especially in a spiritual sense. These release dreams are proof that we include plenty of opportunities to confront inhumanity, meanness, and negativity in this life, and rather than being seduced or defeated by it, we overcome it. It is very common for people to make their current lifetime much too complicated. When they work through all the confusion and all the rhetoric, it comes down to a simple, do good and love the Creator. When you fully come to know that you have accomplished the very best of your ability, you will be rid of time warp dreams once and for all. I have a great many videos now on many different topics, and so I've decided to make several different video playlists so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Well, that's it for now. To stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this free YouTube channel by clicking the red subscribe button right below this video. Take care.